Hello and welcome back everyone. I know it's been a while since I made my last video, but in today's video I wanted to touch upon something that I found rather interesting. So recently I finally let go of my 1080 Ti GPU in order to make room for a 3090 within my rig. Now I've also subsequently upgraded my motherboard and dumped in some 4GHz RAM, and I'm now on the X570 chipset and will soon jump to the 5900X processor from my 3800X that I'm currently having in there. So I'm effectively going to go from 8 cores to 12, as well as getting a bit of an uplift in terms of IPC. So it should be pretty interesting. Now with that said, what I have found really intriguing is that despite the fact that there was a pretty noticeable performance increase in the VR titles that I play, jumping from my water-cooled 1080 Ti to the 3090, the overall kind of frame rates that I was seeing were not in the area that I was expecting them to be. There are a number of games where an FPS cap seems to be either part of the game engine, or at least it seems to be something that needs to be changed in the settings in order for the title to perform at its finest. And it could also be that whatever reprojection settings that are being used in especially titles running on Revive, since I don't have Oculus hardware, are also being capped to allow it to hit a certain frame rate that would otherwise be, essentially doubled using the warping mechanism that they typically use to take it from 45 to 90 FPS, essentially allowing you to experience the game fully, as those earlier headsets were only capable of going up to 90 Hz. Now, this is definitely something that, is an interesting topic. However, what I really wanted to show you guys was just the actual frame rate numbers. Now, it's not always 100% clear how much of a difference it actually is making, because really the biggest difference is in terms of the frame times and less so much in the frame rate itself, because even though there is a frame rate uplift, at the end of the day, the biggest difference that actually makes the game seem a lot smoother is the frame times. Now I'll try and show you guys my previous recordings where I had some of this information at least, and then the most recent ones on the 3090, so you can see it for yourselves. And what you'll notice is on the 1080 Ti there's definitely a lot more stutter. Now that's not to say that the games aren't playable by any means, but at 140 SS within the Steam overlay, you would expect it to perform at least a little bit better. So with that said, let's take a look at the performance comparisons and see how well the 3090 actually does, so we can draw some final conclusions.
We'll be right back.